everyone, Karen here, and today we're making this platform pop-up card. Now this card is very easy to do once you know all the dimensions. It basically is a lot of rinse and repeat because the front and the back are made exactly the same and glued together. So let's talk about what I have here. Now for the paper, it only needs to be a 5.5-inch wide paper. So this is a great time to get out your 6x6 paper pads and get those used up. So I used paper out of Autumn's Blessings, and that was this paper here for this card, and also this paper that we're using today is also from Autumn Blessings. The stamps and dies I'm using the Happy Halloween from the Wicked Witch Craft Kit. I am going to use these pumpkins. I'm going to use Perfect Potion from Vintage Halloween. And this is the cat, because this cat has a stamp and a die. I'm going to use the spiders and the corner spider web from Corner Web and Spiders. And I have this die set too, which I think it's from Year of Craft. I could be wrong. It could be from a subscription box. But I'm going to use this tree. Any tree you have in your stash will work. It even could be a tree with leaves. It doesn't really matter. Just something that you can cut out in black silhouette. That's all you really need. So those are all the stamps and dies. Now let's talk about the paper. Alright, for the bottom of the card, and when I mean bottom, I mean this printed paper here I have here. You need a 5.5 by 2, and it's going to get scored at 1/2, 2, and at 4. The top piece, which is green on this card, you're going to need 2 5x4s, and they're going to get scored at 1/2, 1.5, 3.5, and 4.5. You then need 2 pieces of paper that are 1/2 by 2.5, and you're going to score these at 1/2, 1, 1.5, and 2, and these are just going to be put together to make a square for support for the card. And so this can really be scrap. You just want this to be a pretty substantial piece of paper. I would say maybe about at least 100 pounds. You don't want it too thin, so you're going to need 2 of those. You're then also going to need a 3 3/4 by 2 3/4, and where that is going, that is this piece here that is sticking up in the middle that is supporting the cat, and that's where we're going to attach the squares to. That's what that is for. Alright, so that is all the pieces. So now let's start putting this together. So let me scoot this over here. I'm going to slide this up here so you can write that down, and I'm going to bring in my scoreboard. Alright, so let's start with the bottom of the card, which is the 5.5 by 2. Now you're going to want to score this at 1/2, 2, and at 4. And you're going to do the same thing with the other one. 1/2, 2, and 4. Now the only other thing we need to do to this, I'm going to fold this one first. It'll be easier to see the lines once I fold it here. There we go. So now this first little tab here, I am just going to snip off the ends, a little corner off. And that's just so when I glue the 2 pieces together, they fit together nicely. So I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. And I'll give these a good fold later on. There we go. Now these 2 pieces are ready to go. Now let's talk about the top part of the card, which is the green part here. This is the 5x4. So this we're going to lay in here along the 5-inch line, and we're going to score it at 1/2, 1.5, 3.5, and 4.5. And we're going to do the same thing with the other one. Lay it in here along 5 inches, score it at 1/2, at 1.5, 3.5, and 4.5. And then the 1/2 by 2.5, you will score at 1/2, 1, 1.5, and 2 to make your little squares. And that is all the scoring. Alright, now we do have to do something to these two pieces of paper. Now, these are symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which side you start on. But you're going to need a ruler. You want to, I'm going to make a mark here so you can see it. So along this first score line here, I'm just going to put a little line down it so you can see what I'm talking about here. So this line here, the pencil doesn't really help that much. You're going to go in an inch on either side. So this is a 4-inch piece of paper. So you're going to make a mark at 1 inch, right on the score line, and at 3 inches, right on the score line. Alright, then I want you to come down to the second score line, which is right here. This one right here. And draw a line from where you made your point to the score line. But I want you to continue through your point mark and go off the other side of the page. Like that. So you're going to start down here and go all the way up off the page. And you're going to do that for each corner. Now we'll do the other side. Line it up. 1 inch at 3. Line up the score line with the mark. And there. Yep, that one's a little off. Alright, let me do it from this side. Easier for me to see it that way. Alright, so from this corner, through your mark to the top. Now at this point, you want to check one measurement here. You want to make sure that this line here, in between, is 2 inches. And if that's 2 inches, you are good to go. 2 inches. So now we can go ahead and snip this off. Just like that. That gives you this kind of octagon shape here. And then we're going to go ahead and score it. Fold it. And we fold. Yeah, I could have scored that a little bit better. Okay. This is all going to be underneath, so I'm not really too concerned about these pencil marks. So this is, again, 4 inches. 1 inch, 3 inches. Come down to the other side. Do this a little faster this time. And if you feel confident with your scissors, you can just line up at the corner here, line up there, and snip. You can line up at the corner. Make sure you're going through your spot and snip. Line up at the corner. Make sure you're lined up with your dot and snip. And snip. And that is done. Alright, so now let's bring these back in. Now we're going to use this side of the paper. Then the one thing you want to take note of at this point is that your tabs are on the same side, because you're going to have to attach these once the two pieces are together. So you want to make sure that your tabs are both going in the same direction. Doesn't matter what direction, as long as they're both in agreement. Alright, so now we're going to take our octagons here. We're going to put some glue on this first fold here. And so the second section here, that is the 2-inch section, is going to get lined up right here on that fold. Like that. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Put glue on the first tab. Now if it's easier for you to do, you can put this upside down and put this in the middle. It really doesn't matter, whichever way you are comfortable. And you get the job done either way. You just want to make sure this is flush on the top. So now we have these two pieces here. So now we're going to make sure we're good here. Okay, we're going to put some glue on the other tab on the other side. Going to fold that down, fold this over, and glue it down. Now we're going to do the same thing on this side. Put some glue on here. Put the two sides down. Fold this over and glue down. Alright, so I've given this a second to dry. So now we have two pieces that the same that will fold up and down. So now we need to attach this middle piece, which is the 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. So take one of your pieces here and put glue all over the middle. Lay this down. We're going to line this up at the bottom, in the middle, so it doesn't quite go edge to edge. And glue it down. So now when you open it, it gives you this little lip here to glue things to. Now just want to make sure you get all the way to the top here, or else your card will get a little floppy. Alright, let me wipe this off. Okay, make sure that's good and snug at the top. Alright, so now we're going to flip this over. Now at this point you want to make sure you are going in the same direction, either up or down. So these are both going up. So now these two sections here are going to get glued together. So I'm going to put glue all over this one. And the only reason why I chose this one is because the other one has the piece that sticks up and I don't want to put glue on there. So now I'm going to fold this down. I think it will be easier to do it this way. And I'm going to line up flush on the bottom. And line that up. Now, oh, that is a little crooked. Pull that apart real quick. Line that up. You want to make sure everything matches now. Your bottom pieces are lined up. Your sides are all lined up. There we go. There we go. And now we're moving back and forth. So now all that's left to do is to do the tabs. So I'm going to fold this tab in. Let me fold this out of the way. Take this tab. So this tab here. Fold this down. Put some glue on it. And this will come on here. And this should be flush. Now you're going to take the other side, the same thing. Put the tab down, put glue, and push that down. Now if you find you're a little off at this point, you can always just snip it off. It will be fine. As long as your card lays flat, you're good. Alright, so now we're going to check it. Make sure we're all standing upright. And this is the basic platform. Now at this point, you can decorate this any way you want. Let me trim this here a little bit. Did put that on a little bit crooked. It's okay. You can trim it. There we go. There we go. All is forgiven. So now I'm going to start attaching the pieces here. So let's talk about what we have here. So we have the trees. I have two of the trees. I have a pumpkin. I have a cat. I have my squares. I do have a Happy Halloween, which I'm going to glue together here. And I think I'm going to do it a little kind of cattywampus here. I think I'm going to do it that way. On my sample, I did it straight, but I think I want to do it crooked this time, just to make the cards a little different. Put some glue on here, and like that. Alright, so everything now is ready to go. So now we can start with the cat, because if we look at this one, the cat is just right on the little lip here that we made. So our little cat will go over here. Now this is where you may want to grab yourself a piece of scrap, cut it out to 5 by 7, and use this as a template to make sure you're not putting anything hanging over that's not going to fit in a 5 by 7 envelope. Because you'll see this is here, and this is going to go here. So as long as nothing goes outside this purple, it will fit inside the envelope. It's just, you can see I've used this before. I keep these until they're really ratty, and then I throw them out, and I'll just cut out another piece of scrap. Because when you're doing a card where you're adding a lot of embellishments, sometimes you kind of lose track of where you're putting things. And this way you can visually see what's going to fit in the envelope, and it helps you get everything in the right place. So I'm going to put some glue across the bottom here. All right, and we'll put the cat over here. Like that. So now our little cat is standing up on our card. So now we want to put the pumpkins in front. Now I did end up curving these pumpkins a little bit. And you'll see on this one, I did put some grass in the front. Now I'm not sure if I like that grass, so I'm going to try putting it on without the grass. But I'm only going to leave it if I don't have a weird gap in the front. So I first if I can get my words out. When I did the first one, I didn't like the way it was sitting on there. So we'll give this a try. And I do have the die that I can cut some grass if I need to. So this is the piece that is the 1/2 by 2.5. I'm going to fold the first score line over, and I'm going to fold the other one over to meet the end. Let it grab, and now I have a little square. And this is a really helpful, simple thing you can use in your cards to stack things, to make things pop out, because you can make this square bigger, and you can do all kinds of things with it. Alright, so this is going to go in the front here. So I'm going to look for my seam, because I'm going to put that in the back. Even though you're not going to be able to see it, I still want to put the seam in the back. So I'm going to put this toward the middle, and right here. All right, like that. Put a little more glue on there. And we'll just go ahead and glue both sides at the same time here. So what I'm going to do, so I have glue on this side and this side as I'm pinching it closed. So this side and this side. I'm going to lay this down. Oops. I will lay this down. And then I'm going to close the card like that. Pinch it. And that way it will grab. All right. just going to have to hold this there for a second till the glue sets. All right, now we're good. Now I'm going to take the other square while that dries a little bit. I'm going to make the second square. So once again, put glue on the first little section there and fold the last section over the top of it. I'll fold it the other direction, make sure I'm all nice and square. And that's moving. And then we can give that a second to dry. All right, now. See, I think with the brown and the brown here, I'm going to get away without needing the grass. Yeah, I think I can. So I'm going to put glue on this square here. And I'm going to put the center pumpkin on there as low as I can. And I'm going to pinch it. All right, there we go. So now our little pumpkins are on there. You can see now they fit in there fine when you pop the card out. There we go. So now we need to put the second square in the back. Now I'm going to turn this backwards because I want to hide this square behind the cat. So I'm going to put some glue on here, glue on this side. I'm going to pinch it closed, put it behind the cat, and let me move it over a little bit more and close it. There we go. And we'll just give that a second to dry. Now while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and decorate the front of this card. I just want to give that a second before I put the tree on there. So I want to put one spider web on here. So I'm just going to put some dabs of glue, a couple spots. We'll lay it down here. And dab it a little bit, spread it out. And I am just going to put this right here on the corner. Flush with the bottom. There we go. So now we have our spider web. And I've gotten some glue on the back. There we go. Now our spider web is there. So now I'm going to take a big spider. And this card can be made for any season. I mean, there are so many possibilities with this card. Once you know how to make the base, I mean, you can decorate it with anything. Party balloons, I mean, pretty much anything. I am going to leave the legs loose. I'm only gluing down the body. There we go, there's that. And I'm going to take the little spider. And I'm going to put this one over here in the corner. Alright, so the card has now had a second to dry, so now I'm ready to put on the tree. Now these trees here, I am going to fold this down like this, so I can see exactly how much space I have for these trees. Because I want these trees to come up to 7 inches. So I need to make sure they're not bigger than 5. But I do want them to come up to 7. So I need them glued together, something about this. So I'm going to put some glue on this tree here. Glue that down. Then we'll come up here to the branches. And I will put some glue. Let's see, where's that touching? It is touching over here. And I'm going to glue the one in the front, so if the glue does spread out to a place where it's not attaching, no one's going to see it. So I'm going to put some glue, let's see, here, and here, and down and through here. Here we go. so now I'm going to double check, make sure I didn't make it bigger than 5 inches across. And it can be 7 inches tall. Now we need to check to see if I need to cut any of this off. Now to do that, I'm going to put this card backwards so I can see the back of the card. Because this here, if you look at it, I'm going to be attaching to here. And I'm going to put a mark here so we can keep track. That's where that's my target spot, is right there. Okay, so when this is folded down, can I go all the way to the top? And yes, I can. It just barely fits, so I think I'm just going to snip a little bit off of here, just make it flat. Double check before I glue it on again. And I will be good, because I'm going to put this, let me line this up a little straighter. Okay, so we're down here. Here's our target spot. This is where it's going to get glued. And I need to make sure it's going to fit inside my rectangle. And it will, so I can glue this down now. I will put glue here. And this is just an easy thing to keep you from having a big, huge mistake and then having to make an envelope. This way I know it will fit inside the 5x7 envelope. Just like that. Now as I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh wait, that's going to catch. Because see, that is hanging down lower. So I'm just going to bring in my little scissors. And I'm just going to snip that off. I don't want anything hanging down past there, because that's the little square that we're attaching it to. So now we put it down while it's still wet. Make sure we're all good. I think we're good. There we go. So we have our our little cat witch, and our pumpkins, and our tree. So all that is left is to put the Happy Halloween on here. You just have to decide, do you want to put it down lower? Do you want to put it up higher? Because if this is folded, this is how much room you have. I think this might be a little floppy for it, so I'm going to bring it down a little lower. And I'm just going to put glue on the back of this and just let it stick to the leaves where it sticks. Because this will be on the back of the card, it'll be fine. So let's see here. Where do I want to put this? I want to put it right here across the tree. I do want to see a little bit of this here. I don't want to block that. So I think I will put it right there. Let's see. That's a good spot. I think so. So there we have it. This card is finished. It will stand up like this. And when you fold it, it still fits inside a 5x7 envelope. Let me bring in the first one I did. You can see the cats are just colored a little bit different. You can see the difference between the grass or no grass. It's up to you, whichever way you want to do it. And this one has one brown tree and one black tree. And I did put a spider up in the tree, but I didn't this time since I used 2 black trees. But there you go. If you enjoyed this card, please give me a thumbs up. That's the way YouTube counts everything. And please consider subscribing to my channel. And until next time, stay crafty.